Alrighty, so a few hours ago I uploaded my reaching 100,000 platinum video, and since then I have had a few messages about this, that, and one thing really stood out to me, and that is, holy crap, I'm still ranked 20. So I got my shit together and pretty much ranked up my NIS Warframe, and now we're able to go to rank 21. Now to be fair, I have no idea what to expect for the rank 21 test. Yes, I know there are things you can do in the relays, I believe, that can give you a bit of a clue, or it basically tell you what it is, but instead of doing that, let's just get right into it. Now, I want to use this opportunity to address some of the main issue and questions that people have been pretty much asking me recently.
Eliminate all enemies before the timer reaches 0. Melee strike the orbs to have extra seconds added to the clock.
Okay, so as you can see, I'm doing this live, so I'm going to talk while I play, and as a result, I'm probably not going to do either one very well. But anyway, we're going to give it a shot. Alright, so some of the main issues that people have been asking me, and I guess a main controversial issue that is basically a hot topic right now, is the Void Trader, so Baro KiTeer. So for those of us that have been following the Void Trader every fortnight, we probably realized that recently, the very last one, his items were pretty uniquely different to what he usually provided. So for those that don't know, he pretty much provided a Orokin Catalyst or Orokin Reactor, one of the potatoes, at I think 700 ducats, as well as, you know, crap ton of credits. In addition, he provided a few boosters, so your credit booster, EXP booster, drop booster, that kind of stuff. And all those boosters were going for quite a few hundred platinum, quite a few hundred ducats, as well as a lot of credits. And we heard all sorts of comments about, you know, how, you know, players are saying developers can't do math, developers don't know what they're doing, and yada yada yada. Okay, so let's put things into perspective here. So we have the data over here. So as you can see, the boosters were going around 350 to 450 ducats plus some credits. The catalyst was going for 700 ducats as well as 400,000 credits. Now players were complaining about how, you know, this is worth 20 plat. Is this worth 20 plat? Well, of course not, right? And the developers obviously they know that. And the point of them putting this on here is not so you would actually buy this, is so that you would look at this and go, oh wow, 20 plat for Orokin Catalyst from DE Market is really cheap. I'm gonna go there and buy it, right? And that is a trap that they're trying to put you in. Now, one thing that a lot of people realize but don't appreciate is when we spend plat to other players in trade chat, that plat is still ours, as in that plat is still the community's, right? It's circulating. Once we spend platinum in the DE market, that platinum is gone forever, right? And that is something that we always have to keep in mind. So in that sense, you know, some people, you know, the real, I guess, weird ones out there will try to buy one prime part for one platinum. I mean, I don't know if anyone's dumb enough to sell it like that, but even if you do succeed, you're gonna spend a hell of a lot more than 20 platinum paying for 700 ducats, right? So again, that's the view that the developers trying to hurt for. They were trying to market the market items. So they're trying to make these ultra expensive so the stuff in the market doesn't seem so expensive. So they encourage you to buy those items in the DE market, and as a result, you spend platinum, and that's when DE really gets money. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, you know, the developers are evil for doing this. In fact, that's pretty much what any intelligent person would do, because at the end of the day, this is a free-to-play game and the developers got to feed their families, they got to pay their rent. So, you know, I'm all for it. It's perfectly fine. But this is, I guess, a explanation for why they're doing this. And of course, because of all the runs and yada yada yada, I think yesterday or the day before, there were some complaints about Baro KiTeer being removed. The developers did sort of kind of hint or mention that in their last dev stream, and then again yesterday or the day before, his counter got removed from PC. But I mean, all that is speculation. We don't know what's going to happen, whether he's going to come back or not. If you want my opinion, I think he is most likely going to come back because the ducats are still in game. If he doesn't come back, then obviously some other form of market that uses ducats will come back. But as far as why the developers removed Baro KiTeer, well, I mean, again, there's a very logical explanation, and it's not because players have been ranting for it, it's because they want to make plat sales, right? So if you look at when the Void Trader first showed up, it was the Maradetron. So that was back in December 2014, right? It was decent amount of ducats, decent amount of credits at that time. I think a lot of us, veteran players, we had a lot of prime parts and we're selling them, right? So quite a few of us, bought the Maradetron, and then what we actually realized a couple months later is like, oh wow, people are literally paying upwards of 300 platinum in trade for the Maradetron, right? And then when the Maradetron came back in May, like people were paying 100 plat for it, right? And now no one's actually just buying it. Hands down, no one's buying it. And same can be said about Prime Flow. When Prime Flow first came out, a few of us got it, and then a couple months later, it was going for, easily 100 to 200 platinum, and then it came back in March, and then pretty much went down to your sort of 50 to 100 platinum, and then it didn't come back for a while in sort of the June, July region. I saw some people trying to get unranked Prime Flow for 500 platinum, and now obviously, well, now a month ago it came back in December, and now Prime Flow unranked is going, less than 100, right? You can pretty much get an unranked Prime Flow for 80-ish plat. I mean, for God's sakes, the max Prime Flow are going for 5 to 600 plat. But that's, I guess, a topic for a different day. So now if we think about why the devs remove Baro KiTeer. So if these items do not come back for, let's just say, for a year, right? The prices is going to increase again. Now, despite what I said about these platinum circulating in the community is actually going to DE, players do spend platinum, and if we are spending a higher amount of platinum in trade even to each other, it means players are paying for that platinum with money, right? So these do get a profit. DE just kind of seal the deal once the platinum go back to the DE market. But basically the point I'm trying to make is if all these items that are exclusive to Baro KiTeer don't show up for a couple of years, all their prices is going to increase. And what that means is these going to get more profit. That's all it is, right? Simple. But again, I'm not going to say, this is exactly what's happening because it's all just speculation at this point. But it wouldn't surprise me the least bit if these items do go away for a prolonged period of time, just so their prices in trade could increase, and obviously, again, give these their profit. Alrighty, so the next item on the agenda are sortie missions. Now, sortie missions are obviously something that came out in update 18. It's basically your end-game material. The only problem with it is it's boring, right? Now, to be fair, they have made massive improvements since a few weeks ago when it first came out. For the newer players, the way this works is you do 3 missions. Once you do the missions, you get one of these rewards. Now, there are some pretty unique rewards in here. Namely, you got the Nita Warframe in here. You got a few exclusive weapons that were previously available. This time around, you got the Strong Wraith. Previously, we've had the Karak Wraith, and of course, the previously unavailable, the Vandal, the Dera Vandal, right? And of course, there are some pretty extreme rewards in here. And of course, we're talking about the legendary core here. Now, I did see a post on Reddit where someone did some data mining, and the chance of getting a legendary core is somewhere around 0.167%. Now, let's put that into perspective. What that basically means is if you play this every day, and to be fair, on average, you're pretty much looking at about half an hour to complete this, right? And we'll go into that bit later. But basically, say if you spend 1,000 times, so every day for 1,000 days playing this, you have a chance of getting a legendary core 1 or 2 times, right? We'll say twice if you're lucky. Now, that basically means if you play this game every day for 3 years, you have a chance of getting maybe 1 or 2 of these legendary cores. And why is that extreme? Well, Warframe haven't even been in open beta for 3 years yet. Yeah, that's right. So, in other words, play this to get your sort of exclusive, so things like your Warframe, weapons you haven't got. But I definitely wouldn't be playing this for the legendary cores, because you're better off playing some other stuff and then get the plat and then buy the legendary cores. Because, I mean, there are millions of players in Warframe, so if everybody plays, obviously there will be those lucky players that get it, but I just wouldn't do this to farm legendary cores. So in other words, once you've got all your Warframe and your exclusives, go play something else. Right now, T3 mob defense for Trinity Prime systems, that is the single highest farmable prime part on the trade market. You can still get around 70 to 80 plat for a single Trinity system, Trinity Prime system blueprint. Okay, so when it first came out, obviously most of the missions were just horrible. You had to do 20-minute survival, 15 wave defense, I believe, and it was 4 wave interception. Now it's 3 wave interception, 15-minute survival, and defense is 10 waves. And it's not a stationary pod, it's a mobile target, so it's a bit better, but it's still pretty time consuming. Now, when I first started Sortie, I actually really enjoyed the spy missions because you have to complete all 3. The rescue missions were pretty frustrating, but it did add a bit of excitement just because the timer initiates immediately once you get into the rescue room. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the implementation of Sortie. I'm just a bit still annoyed at the duration it takes to complete these. What I would have preferred maybe is, say, if it takes on average 5 minutes to complete each mission and make the mission even, a bit harder. I'm okay with that. It's a pain having to wait there for 10-15 minutes just to finish a mission that isn't even that end game, right? I mean, these days with all the prime mods and all the new weapon release, all the syndicate weapons, even level 80 to 100 is pretty easy for solo play. And if you're in a group of 4, I mean, come on, you can just go AFK. And FYI, if you do go AFK and the mission succeeds, you still get these rewards. So yeah, AFK system doesn't actually work on this. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for me today. Now I know we are all after another complete trade guide. It's been a year since I released my last one, and you can bet I'll be releasing another one in the very near future. And this time I don't just mean in the very near future and then 6 months later I come back. No, I'm going to release a complete trading guide next week. So stay tuned for that, for all your latest trading suggestions, hints and tips, and of course how to make platinum. Alright guys, as usual, please like, comment and subscribe. If you have any particular content you want me to go over, leave in the comments below. I will go through some of the newer Warframes, so I do have to say, none of them are that great. But hey, it's Warframe. We can't expect everything to be great, but you can bet there's some great stuff in it. Alright guys, cheers. See you next time. Oh my god, I can